Lost in the Lost in the darkness, searching for a way. Addiction had its grip, I couldn't find the light of day. But then I found the path of healing, holistic and divine. Connecting with my spirit journey, that was mine. Goodbye, Penny, that was money, that was mine. We talk about everything. Some of it might piss you off, but you're here for a reason. Let's feel and never stop. Through tarot, Reiki, stones, and light language, we'll find our way. Herbal therapy, meditation, sound healing, every single. Lost in the darkness, searching for a way. Addiction had its grip, I couldn't find the light of day. But then I found the path of healing, holistic and divine. Connecting with my spirit journey, that was mine. Goodbye, Penny, that was money, that was mine. We talk about everything. Some of it might piss you off, but you're here for a reason. Let's feel and never stop. Through tarot, Reiki, stones, and light language, we'll find our way. Herbal therapy, meditation, sound healing, every single day. Expansion of spiritual gifts, a magical experience. Connected to the source, our souls in perfect resonance. Sharing with our tribe, they show us what we need to become the best versions. Our spirits we will feed. So like, share and subscribe. Join us on this path. Healing, growing, learning. Let's face life's aftermath. Together we will rise. Our souls will soar so high. Connecting with the divine. Our spirits never die.
Good Friday evening. Hope you're doing well tonight. We are coming in late, but this is that moment where everybody makes those bad decisions, and we're going to eliminate them tonight. Stay tuned.
We talk about everything. Some of it might piss you off, but you're here for a reason. Let's heal and never stop. Through tarot, Reiki, stones, and light language, we'll find our way. Herbal therapy, meditation, sound healing, every single day.
How are we doing? How are we doing? How are we doing? Ladies and gentlemen, what I have for you tonight is going to piss some people off. It's going to help a lot of people, and everybody who pays attention and does things accordingly will benefit if they work it. You know what they say, if daddy gave you something, use it or lose it. Anyway, so again, like I said, this subject we are about to embark on is a subject that will piss people off. However, it is not meant to piss you off. It is meant to rise you to the occasion of providing yourself with a better life ahead. So, This video that I'm going to show you here is not, it's one that I've made, of course, but I'm going to guarantee you that what it provides for you is absolutely nothing like what you're going to find out afterwards. So let this be just an anchor of, oh. All right, let us begin. Jump around, jump around, jump up, get down.
Addiction is a battle, often silent and unseen, but it's a road that many walk down. Sometimes it's not about the substances, meth or opioids, but about the pain they mask. Today, let me guide you through the signs, symptoms, and hopeful paths towards recovery. Methamphetamine, commonly known as meth, grips its users with an intense high but at a devastating cost. The signs? Well, they're often hard to miss. Noticeable weight loss, severe dental problems, often called meth mouth, and erratic hyperactive behavior are the red flags. Meth can push people into a cycle of binging and crashing, which is dangerous for both the mind and body. On the flip side, opioids, a class that includes prescription painkillers and heroin, tell a different but equally harrowing tale. Their abuse might be less visible initially. Look for drowsiness, changes in sleep patterns, and frequent flu-like symptoms. Withdrawal from friends and family, and a loss of interest in activities one used to enjoy can also be telling signs. These substances whisper promises of pain relief, but they leave chaos in their wake. So, what about recovery? It's not just a journey, it's a transformation, and it starts with recognition. Recognizing the problem is the first step. From there, reaching out for help is crucial and brave. Treatment often involves detoxification, counseling, and sometimes medication-assisted therapies. Support groups and therapy sessions can provide the emotional scaffolding needed to rebuild a life. Recovery is hard. Relapses can occur, but they do not signify failure. They are merely bumps on this long road. It's important to celebrate each day of sobriety, each step away from the past, and each moment of regained strength. Remember, the road to recovery is paved with resilience and hope, not just for those walking it, but also for those who walk alongside. Friends, family, and professionals. You're not alone on this journey. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, I urge you to seek help today. There is light at the end of this tunnel, and a community ready to welcome you back. Let's take that first step together. This script aims to not only inform, but also inspire and connect with those affected by addiction, providing them with hope and guidance towards recovery.
Right. Now, the reason I chose to do this is because, and why am I not touching on fentanyl? You can't get addicted to fentanyl, really. I mean, you can, but the symptoms for fentanyl are about the same as meth and opiates. Fentanyl is like a mixture of meth and opiates at the same time. Kind of like, I guess that might be a reason why it hits the system as hard as it does, is because it has that speedy effect, that intense effect that meth does. Um, Opioids are like slow to, but they're like, let me how to explain this, and this for this is a trigger warning. I'm gonna be talking about drugs. If talking about drugs is gonna get you to start doing drugs, please tune out. But I need you to be strong right now. I need you to pay attention to this, and if you're in a moment right now where someone you love or you yourself are having issues with this, the information I'm providing with you today can assist, okay? There are too many people out there that are not getting opportunities for their life to change because they're not listening, and that's the only fucking problem. And you're like, I wish you'd change your bedside manner, and I'm like, I understand, and I'm working on that. In the meantime, we have thousands and thousands of people dying every day, and people just wanting to throw a rug over it like it isn't fucking happening. Or it's their fault because they chose to do drugs, or it's their fault because they decided to do this. It's always their fault, it's their fault, it's their fault. But nobody ever starts doing drugs because their life is happy. And in most cases, nobody goes around hurting themselves to get a bad life. Nobody chooses to just walk away from their house. Nobody chooses to just lose their job and not be able to find another one. Nobody chooses to get dumped. Nobody chooses for something to happen to their system where they can't work. Nobody chooses derailment. Derailment chooses the person. And it's not even like addiction. It has no selection criteria. Any and everyone is able to become an addict. I just saw a video, and I didn't watch it yet, but there was a video about a doctor that died of fentanyl use. I don't know how she died of it, and I'll check that out. But it's just, I'm proof you don't need the medicine. I guess that's my big thing right there, is I'm proof you don't need the medicine. And it may not be bubbles and candy baskets for me right now, but my body is healing. I am not on any kind of opioids. I'm not on any kind of drugs. And every day I wake up feeling a little bit better. Now, I've been clean for 7 years, and actually, everybody I know and grew up with is still on drugs. And I don't say that lightly. I mean that including my brother, my mother, my grandmother. Everybody is on drugs that I know and that I'm familiar with, or that I've had a history with. They are all on drugs, whether it be prescription drugs or street drugs. They're all on drugs. Their bodies are failing. Their relationships are troubled. My brother and his wife have a list of fraudulent bank stuff that they're stealing money from people and all kinds of stuff. They're still messing with that shit, man. That's what you do when you're fucked up on addiction. That's how you pay for your shit. Like, people don't realize that addiction is a different side of a person. It's a whole different person. An addicted person is a totally different person. Whoever you knew before they started doing whatever it is they're addicted to, they're not that person anymore. Once that addiction grabs a hold of them. And you're like, how do you know if that addiction has gotten a hold of them? You don't. You never know exactly when or if it has become an addiction. However, one of the first signs is if you notice them doing it all the time and it's no longer social. If they're willing to spend money on it instead of paying their bills. If they're willing to go without food to be able to pay for that substance. If they're willing to pay for that substance and do that substance and lose their friends who don't. If they have mood swings, sudden mood swings. Those mood swings is the moment when you want to integrate an intervention as soon as possible. That is your borderline of the addiction grabbing a hold and the person before the addiction fighting for their life. That is when you need to step in there and be tough. They're gonna hate on you. They're gonna throw anything and everything at you they possibly can to make you fucking hate them and give up on them. Don't. Because that's when they need you. Right then. Because they don't know. They just know they're fighting a demon they've never met before. And they don't know how. They don't know what they're in for. But they know that there's something about it they love and hate. Addiction is the epitome of a thin line between love and hate. Because you love the drug, but you hate what it does to you. You love the high that it gives you. Sad truth. The high it gave you the first, second, and third time you did it. But anything after that, you're not getting shit, comparatively speaking. And you're always chasing for that first, second, or third high. You will never get again. Hence, overdose. That is where overdose comes in. Because once you reach a certain high, once you reach that level of high that that drug is supposed to give you, there is no more. Once you've been to that high, you'll never get there again. You'll never be there again. Like, you won't even reach that high again. But you'll think that you can, and that drug will make you believe that if you just keep trying, you will get where you're trying to go. Huge reason why, let me put this out there, fucking huge reason why I fight with being on YouTube. Because, and I'm gonna say this as nice as I possibly can. Some dickheads thought it would be cool to fuck with my numbers and make me feel like I was useless and that what I was trying to do wasn't needed or desired by people, and that whatever my story was inadequate for people. Have you know, many people, because they listened, talked, and took part in whatever it was that I was sharing at the moment, they saved their lives and many others along with theirs. So if you have something rude to say, get the fuck up off my channel. Let my numbers rise. Because for every number, that shows a life that has been saved, that has been touched, that is trying to make a way out of the fucking darkness. Now let's get back to the story. But that is why I have an issue. I'm like, am I going anyway? Because I go back to, okay, well, I know I could never get that high again. I finally realized I'm never going to get that high again. No matter how much I chase it, even if I change to the different drugs, like opioids is the famous one right there. It's the only one. Opioids is the only one that you can literally shift the pit. Where with cocaine, yeah, you got different brands, but it's basically the same. Same thing with heroin, same thing with meth. Difference with meth is back in the day, and I'm not even gonna lie about this. Back in the day, that meth had you doing stuff. It was like productive. Like back in the 90s, dope was productive. Like people, it wasn't really productive, and I'm not allocating it in any way, but I'm just saying back then, before they took all the products off to make it, people were actually getting up and doing something. I read so much when I was on that stuff. I was always reading. When I was on that stuff, I was always reading, dude. I couldn't get enough books. Dude, I was always reading. Got made fun of like a motherfucker, dude. You ain't gotta worry about that girl. Give her a lot of dope. She'll go sit in the corner and read the library. I'm not even kidding. They made fun of me all the time for it. But anyway, and I'm okay with that. You know, I used it to grow. You know, not everybody does drugs to get fucked up. Most people don't do that. That's not their goal. Their goal is to get high. The story behind drugs is that you're gonna get high. You're gonna feel better about yourself. The reality is, no, you're not. You're gonna feel worse than you ever fucking did before. 2040. This is a Friday. This is late at night, and if you're listening to me, hopefully you are deciding to shift your reality into knowing that drugs are not good for you, and deciding to find something different to do. We can play music. You can listen. There's all kinds of stuff that you can do that's not going to kill you. So why continue to waste your time on shit that will? Like, you know, back in the 90s, they were just learning about how bad opioids were. But at the same time, they were also finding out how good they were. And unlike cocaine, that shit was bank. All you had to do was go to your pharmaceutical company and get it. Like boom, 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 boom. Doctors are handing it out like candy. They're getting paid to hand it out. I never seen so many doctors' offices go up in my life until right in the middle of opening season of opioids. I'm gonna guess this was 2007, 2008. Between 2008, actually, about 2008 to 2011, doctors going up everywhere, dude. Everywhere. Doctors' offices going up everywhere, dude. And all they were distributing was opioid pain medications. I mean, these doctors were literally, you go in and you can't, these doctors, for those of you who don't know, I'm going to tell you now, these doctors seem like real doctors. And you go in, you pay cash, you have to pay cash, you get the script, the scripts that they give you, you get 120 Xanax, 120 Percocet, and 120 Roxys. Depending on your ailment, you can get 180. Some people were getting 210. My highest was, I was getting 210 Percocets before they moved me up to getting 180 and then 120. And then they moved me up to getting Opanas, and I started getting 120 Opana 20s, 120 Opana 20s, 120 Xanax, and 120 Roxys. And that was meaning that I was taking, this was a prescription, so this was prescribed to me on top of the psych meds that I was prescribed from another doctor, which was ADHD medication, somas, and what is it? It starts with an S. It makes you really sleepy. They give it to you to sleep at night, like to calm your nerves. It's for your nerves. I don't remember, but anyway, that was a day's worth, which means, to break it down, 120 means 4 a day. So I was getting 4 Opanas a day, 4 Roxys a day, 4 Xanax a day, 3 muscle relaxers, 2 nerve pills, and my ADHD medication. That was on a daily dose that was being prescribed every day, that the doctor said I had to have in order to survive for the rest of my life. That is what I was going to have to take. January 13th, 2017, I celebrated 7 years of not needing any of that to move my body. Since I quit, I have shattered my hand, broke my arm, did it without any meds. Went throughout the entire thing without any meds. I took a couple BC powders, and that was the extent of the medications that I took while I was suffering that incident. And during that time I did work. I was going to school full-time for collision repair, which collision repair, for those of you who don't know, is car repair. You work on the body of the car, body and the frame of the car, inside, outside. If it's not what makes it run, I can help you get it done. I probably need some practice and look that shit up, but every car is different, so yeah, of course. But anyway, well, because I haven't done anything in a minute. But anyway, my final project was to finish painting a 56 Bel Air. Now, this motherfucker was absolutely beautiful. I mean, this girl, I did this. I was so proud of myself. Listen, it was my, this was my second year of recovery when I pulled this off too. It was absolutely beautiful. I'm trying to see. Let me see if I can. Yes. God, I want my steel toes back. Jesus Christ, dude, I need to get back in that shit. I was so happy in that time. Oh, I love cars, dude. I fucking love paint. Like, okay, first, I'll go ahead and fucking show you guys what I'm seeing. So you're like, wait a minute. Don't we get to be a part of this shit too? Yes, you do. That's why you're here. All right. This is my land that I was buying right here. This is my car. The car with all the stickers on it. Those are all faith stickers of some sort. There were stickers everywhere, all over this car, and I just kept adding to them as time went on. That was my 4. My boots. I miss my boots, dude. I miss my boots. Butterflies. Alright, this is my class. And this is the raceway where we were at. Down by my house. And this was my last project that was not a test. This was my last project right here. I did that with a broke hand, you guys. All this. I was staying at a shelter at this time. There's my baby. There's my baby. Right there. That's my baby. Right there, I did that. I didn't do this part right here, but I did all of this. All of this. Did all of that right there. That's me. I did that. I did that. I did that. You see that? I did that. I did that. Look at that bad bitch. Listen, that trunk was a motherfucker, dude. That trunk was my first ever experience with welding. But listen, it wasn't ordinary welding. It was liquid weld. That motherfucker had holes in it. I had to sand that bitch, had to pin that bitch. But look at it. Look at that bad boy. The owner of the vehicle was, I mean, he was stout. He's like, wow, you did such a good job, dude. Look at that baby. Look at that. You see the inside of that right there? You see the inside of that right there? Look at that. Look at that. Oh my god. Look at that. Anyway, yes, I am hyping on myself. I did that, dude. Look at that. I did that shit. And look, you'll be able to see my hands broke. I think you'll be able to see. Oh my god, that's my baby. That's my baby. I did that shit. Oh my god, look at her. Whew, fuck me. Oh, damn it. Look at that baby. Oh my god. And wonder how she's doing now. Look at that. Oh my god. I did all that too. All the inside, all that blue right there, all that black, all that white, all that. The dashboard was the first thing that the first thing I did. The dashboard was my first paint job. And I did the inside here. I had to do all the taping and everything. It was amazing, dude. It was one of the most amazing experiences I've ever fucking had, dude. It was so awesome. That used to be my favorite drink right there, buddy. Yeah, buddy. I wonder how that worked out. Look at that. I did such an amazing job, dude. Hold on, let me see if I can find where you can see. It's not gonna show me. Let me see. that blonde hair. I could get that back right there. I'm gonna have to get that back. Listen, I'm gonna have to get that back. Look at that. Look at me right there. That's me. This was my first beginning of being sober. You see that wind shirt right there? You see that wind shirt? This was in July. So I was 3 months sober off alcohol. So, because I quit May 8th at this conference right here, this shirt, the WIN conference, I quit drinking. So anytime you see this shirt, I'm sober. Any year after, you know, in 2019, if you see this shirt, I was sober. That's when I was already sober off of opioids. That was in 2017, but then I quit alcohol in 2019, in May 2019, and then in November 2019, I quit smoking cigarettes too. I will never forget that experience, dude. That was amazing. I'm trying to look for the broken arms. Hold on. Usually, look here. Damn, I'm a pretty girl, huh? Huh. I need that blonde back. What happened to me? There. That's me painting with the broken hand right there. See that? The hand was broke. There's no medicine being taken. There's no alcohol. There's no pain medicines. And in Tennessee, and the fact that I was on government property, there was no weed. Okay? Let me put that there too. Like, you don't pull up on that campus with any weed at all. Unless you're friends with the teacher. you don't do that. Fuck no, dude. I did not take nothing on that goddamn motherfucker. Nothing. Like, you don't go over 5 miles an hour. They will fucking take that out of your fucking grade. If you speed in their parking lot, they'll take it out of your grade. I mean, that school is, yeah. When it comes to that shit, yeah. And do your day classes, don't do the night classes, because meth is really bad in that town. So, but yeah, this was one of the most fun experiences I ever had. I loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Like that. And I, oh, look here. Woo! Down by the river. Boy, I love that suit right there. I will be back down to that size again. That's for goddamn sure. I love that river, man. That's the Owood River. That's my favorite spot in the entire county. Right there. That is my favorite spot in the entire county. There's no other spot in the world that I've ever been that brings me as much peace as that place right there. And that property that I showed you guys, it was right around the corner from this spot right here. Like, it was a 5-minute drive. I was about to have everything, and my ex-husband made sure it got taken away from me. In this picture right here, I was graduating my, I was graduating collision repair. I just bought the property and my tiny house that I was building and clearing the land and getting everything. I just got the sink and was getting stuff situated for my house. I was building a tiny house, and my ex-husband had my land uh, red flagged so that I couldn't build on it, couldn't finish building on it. Oh, well, let's take that out of there. Anyway, anyway, listen. Let's talk about them Red Sox. Back to the drugs. Y'all, if I were still doing drugs, you would not have been able to see any of those pictures. And that picture that you saw, that guy in in that picture that you just saw, that picture you just saw was a picture where he won an award on my birthday. It was my birthday weekend. And he won the award for what it says. He was there with another woman, but bragging to me that he won something. I wasn't allowed to go, and I found out later why. Yeah. But I mean, it is what it is. Whatever. No man's ever been faithful to me, so he gave me a beautiful son. That's cool. Whatever. Anyway, he is still on meth, and so is his wife, and he's also my baby daddy, obviously, and they need to get off of that shit and find better lives to do. And a big reason why I'm doing this tonight, because they've been crying out for the last month or so. They need help. They don't know how to take care of themselves and get off this shit because it's taking over their lives. They're losing everything. I got sober by myself. I had to quit everybody. Like, when I say I had to quit everybody, I had to quit everything and everybody. People weren't taking me seriously. They were still trying to shove pills in my face, and I didn't want it. Like, even when I was working at McDonald's, like, they'd still try and put pills and dope in my face, and I'm like, I don't want this shit. I'm getting clean. I'm clean. Like, I'm not trying to do anything. I'd appreciate it if you would respect that. I need to put that out there as well. For those of you who feel like it's funny to harass somebody who's trying to shift their life, find something else to do. Because in the reality of it, you wish you could do it too. You just don't have the nerve to. Or you do, you're just choosing not to. See, that's the thing. Everybody has the nerve to quit. You had the nerve to do it. You should have the nerve to quit. But a lot of people, they need the encouragement to do that. And that's where you come in. You may not be that person who's doing the drugs. You may not be the person who needs the assistance. But you may be that person that could shift shit. Not every addict knows they're an addict. Not every person having issues knows they're having issues, realizes they're having issues, has what it takes to understand that they're in a fucking pickle. People need to love them, regardless. And I really feel like if you want to force me to love people who want to do things that aren't very good for them either, I don't see why I'm not supposed to be able to love the people who are legitimately having issues too. 4426. I'm just saying. If you need the assistance, get up off your ass and go get it. Tennessee does not have a lot when it comes to support for people trying to shift their lives into something better. Because to them, why fix something that isn't broken? And drug addiction isn't broken. It's the person handling the addiction that's broken. Is how they look at it. And that's not everywhere. That is Crossville. That is Monterey. That is Cookville. That is the outskirts of Nashville and Knoxville. The parts that nobody talks about. The part that's right outside the biggest weapon maker in our country has the biggest issue with meth than anywhere else in the country. And let me tell you a little bit about meth. It is the coldest drug you'll ever come across. It is cold. To the point that you'll wonder if these people ever had souls. Methamphetamines are cold. And what I mean by that is a person develops an intense neglect to remorse, feeling like the reason that they start doing it is to eliminate feeling pain. And that is exactly what it does and why it runs so rampant, especially among the poor people. Because it's easy to get to, it's easy to make, and it's cheap. And it's so cheap that people are willing to share it, not care, and hold on, the best part about it, you cannot overdose on it. You can do as much methamphetamines as you want to do, and you will not overdose. Just the same as marijuana. Unless there's something else in it, you won't overdose. I don't know what it is, but unless you mix that meth with pills or heroin or cocaine or alcohol, you won't overdose. So when a person runs out of the alcohol or when they want to get sober, that's another thing. People, you've been drinking, do your line of dope. It'll sober you straight the fuck up. You can drink on that shit all day long and not get drunk. That's another thing. You can drink on meth all day long and never get drunk. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But that's how it works. So you have people fucked up on alcohol, fucked up on pills, and fucked up on dope. And because of the dope, they don't realize what they're doing when it comes to the pills. You mix those three together, and that's a concoction that don't feed those motherfuckers guns, that's for damn sure. But you live down south, and that's what they've got. Guns are everywhere, dude. If you don't have a gun, they're wondering why. If you don't own a shotgun and you live out in the country, out in Tennessee, they're wondering why you don't have a gun. Because everybody has a gun down there. Now, imagine everybody having a gun on meth. When you're on meth, you stay up for days at a time. Okay? And it turns you into another creature. My longest amount of time was 21 days. I went without eating. And I stayed up for 9 days without sleeping. I literally went 3 weeks. I didn't eat anything. And the way for them to get me to eat something was they took my meth away. And they wouldn't let me have any more dope until I ate something, because I had lost probably 40 pounds in that month and didn't even know it. Had no clue that I had lost that much weight. They had to tell me, Jennifer, when's the last time you ate? Like, I wasn't fitting, and I wasn't even paying attention to the fact that I wasn't fitting in my clothes. I went completely fucking numb, dude. And this was right before I got pregnant with Ethan. Like, I was in a bad space. I was in a bad space. A bad space. Like, totally fucking out of it, dude. And I got pregnant with Ethan. I never touched dope again for 12 years. Like, he was my savior. Like, literally, I'll talk about that for the rest of my life. Like, that boy right there saved my life when it come to that. And before I got pregnant with him, I was praying for, listen, when you ask God for prayers, don't be surprised if he gives them to you. I'm not even kidding, because I was sitting there praying. I was like, I've got to get home to Sarah. I've got to get home to Sarah. I've got to get home to Sarah. I don't want to live this life, Jetty. I don't know what to do. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. And I got pregnant. Where there's a will, there is a way. I did go back to it after I lost him. After I lost my kids, I went back to doing dope again for just a little bit. But again, you know, I haven't done anything 7 years. And now I'm becoming an advocate for quitting. Imagine that. And his dad is still on it. The same man that saved me from it is the same man begging me to help him get off of it. So I kind of feel a little obligated for those of you who are saying, stop, 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 stop. If we wouldn't have had sex that night and I had a baby, I probably wouldn't be here right now. And him and his wife are begging the fuck out of me to help them get the fuck off the drugs. He's already lost his best friend. I lost my best friend. And there's so many others out there like that, that need that assistance. I'm going to show you here in just a second. There are places that you can go that you don't have to have insurance. And there's ways to be able to go about getting off of this shit without having to go to a doctor or needing to fucking have money to do it. And by the way, because I know, especially for me, if you don't have money, you have enablers that will make sure that you still continue to have that drug, whatever the drug of choice is. It could be whatever the drug of choice is, people will make sure that you still get to keep it. That's enabling. In many cases, they're really trying to be your friend because they know what it's like, because they're an addict too. But in the end, nobody's winning. Again, I say, I am the only one out of all my friends that's sober, even 7 years later. If they were somebody that I called a friend and they're still alive, they're still addicted. And I'm not going back to Crossville. I have 3 kids that live there, and they're surrounded by it. And some of you would say, well, you should go back there and help your kids out. And I believe I'm helping my kids by staying away from all of that drama. I think I'm helping them out more by being sober, it being in a position away from the opportunity of relapse. I believe that until they get, the people, not my kids, themselves situated, they're not going to understand the concepts or reasons why I had to leave. Many of them, you know, they want to portray when you're an addict, you think different. Let me put that out there. When you're an addict, I don't give a fuck how much money you got. I don't give a fuck what your story is. An addict thinks different. A recovering addict thinks different. And somebody who's never fucking done drugs or drank before thinks different. They all think different. Their moral ladder is different. Their thought pattern is different. Everything is different. So let me put that out there and ask for you, depending on where you're at in that specter, to have compassion for the others that aren't in the same. Please. That is another thing that we're going to have to start working on, is compassion. Because for some reason, we've gone back to this case where people are thinking that because a person is having addiction issues, there's something wrong with them. There's not worthy of your attention or affection. I just got through watching a video, and it's about Nashville homelessness. And the things that she brought up, I was like, boy, I've said that so many times. I've said that so many times. I've said that so many times. And she was talking about homeless people. And I'm bringing this in on the drug people because in many cases, you don't become homeless without the use of drugs. And when you become homeless, the first thing you start doing is drugs. In most cases. So when you're having this housing issue crisis going on and getting bigger and bigger and bigger, we need to really tackle the drug issue. Because the more people get homeless, the more they're going to feel worthless, and the more they're going to be susceptible to that drug use. Now, being homeless and on drugs, you don't have a support system. You are literally all by yourself. And the only other people that you have around you willing to talk to you and be there with you are other people that do drugs. And then there's other people that do drugs. And then there's the occasional, well, I've never done drugs before. I've only been homeless for about 3 months. And then they do drugs. I watched that. Dude, I watched this one girl. She was homeless for about 3 months. She moved to Crossville because somebody talked her into it. Some dude that she met online talked her into moving to Crossville. She had a lucrative job, a car, and a place to live. Within 6 months of her moving to Crossville, she became a sell my body for dope, lost all her money, and borrowing other people's cars because her car wasn't worth a fuck anymore, and she didn't have the money to fix it. 6 months. It took her 6 months. 6 months for a girl to meet a guy online, lose everything that she had, get fucked up on dope, six months. Lives matter, no matter who you are. And a lot of people make decisions based on something they don't know. So I'm here to let everybody know that drugs are bad and you should really quit doing them. And that there are alternatives to getting a high that don't cost your life. Now, for some places that you can go, we have state-funded rehabs. Many states offer free or low-cost rehab programs funded by the government for those without insurance. These centers provide detox treatment and other supportive services at little to no cost to qualifying individuals. Faith-based rehab programs. These are numerous Christian and other faith-based rehab programs across the country that do not require insurance coverage. These are often free or low-cost options for those seeking treatment. Rehab programs through hospitals, clinics, and community health facility organizations like United Way, as well as local national nonprofits, offer rehab programs that do not require insurance. You may be able to access grants for outpatient treatment through these types of programs. I went to several hospitals and rehabs, inpatient and outpatient. The best treatment that I received was at the Salvation Army Women's in Romulus, Michigan. Hence the reason why I came back. It's not the same anymore. They're not even in Romulus anymore, but they are in Detroit. I have not had much time to communicate. I've had plenty of time. I have not communicated with them much since I've been here. Feeling more like I haven't really accomplished enough to be adequate enough for other rehabbers to feel like they're gaining something from me by listening and keeping going. But when I reach that point, then I will ask if I can go up there, when I get my house and my car, I can go up there and be like, look, it might take you a minute, but, after that, I've got several degrees, but I don't have the house and the car, and I just feel like that would help them to know that it's worth being sober. I have my brain. The other thing is that I don't talk to my kids. Those relationships haven't been fixed. And so it bothers me because they'll ask, well, did you fix this shit with your kids? And it's like, no, they're still gone. Do you have any family? No, we never fixed that any. What about your friends? I don't have any. I'm like, well, what kind of life are you living? I have a house full of dogs and cats. I'm by myself, and I talk to God all the time. And whenever he tells me to, I get on the internet and tell people to type God and stop getting on drugs. And that's more fun than hanging out with a bunch of people on drugs. Actually, I never have to worry about the blue lights in the rearview mirror. The meds gone out of the medicine cabinet. The heirlooms found at other people's houses that should have never left your house because you didn't move them. The people around you that really just don't give a shit about you unless it's pill day or money day. I don't miss any of that. I don't miss the only time your phone blows up is when somebody wants something. I don't miss being ashamed of looking at myself in the mirror because I have a problem and I don't know how to get out of it. I don't miss the months of spraying myself down with bleach water because I'm dosed down with the Hep C rash and I don't know it. I don't miss being around people I don't like, but they have my drug of choice, and so I put up with them. I don't miss being around people I don't really want to be around, but again, they have the drug of choice, so I'm around them. I don't miss being broke all the time because I spent all my money on a high that lasted for 45 minutes and my back still hurts, my nerves are shot, and I still can't see my kids. I don't miss not being able to thrive in the things that I love doing. You see, because I got sober, I get to be a person that looks in the mirror every day. May not be proud of exactly where the fuck I am, but I'm proud of where I've come from. I may not have that car sitting in a parking lot, but there is a bus stop right outside my house. I may not have my family sitting right there next to me, but I'm alive and the opportunity may still arise. I may not be exactly what the fuck everybody thinks I should be, but the fact that I'm still being is becoming enough for me. In 2017, I had a choice to live or die, and I will never regret the choice I made. I'm just asking you to make the same. I know I said I wasn't going to be on here, but somebody needed to hear this. And I send you guys so much love, light,